Okay, we are recording. Okay, so thank you for showing up this evening because we want to talk to all of you about goals, dreams, goals, and plans. Just want to give you some insight on some things that have worked for us and hopefully give you some ideas on what can help you and help you succeed in this business. So first of all, so dreams. So dream big. One of the things that we do is write down all of our dreams. Now, a lot of people have vision boards and do that type of thing. Now, I do more of a future life type of page in a journal. So I write down our future life. So years ago, it was actually shortly before, probably about 6 months or so before Link and I got married, I wrote that I was looking at our life in the future and wrote down things. So one of the things I wrote down was we were living in a home with a basement, because we always talked about wanting a home with a basement, on the golf course, and we were golfing in a lot, events with friends, and we were traveling a lot, and we're doing this, that, and the other. So I won't go into the whole thing, but when you know it, I'm reading this at least to myself 3 to 4 times a week in the morning. And right before we got married, we found our home, and it was with a basement on the golf course, and we were golfing all the time with friends and traveling a lot. And so, there really is something to say about writing your dreams down and your goals, and manifesting that and praying on that and having that whole mindset. So I cannot say or stress enough how important it is that you do that with your dreams and your goals. And it gives you your why too. I mean, another part of that whole scenario that I wrote down in my future life was that our children are living their dreams and following their passions and things like that. So that's a part of my why, one of the things that wanted to teach our kids to be able to do. So, and I think, to a certain extent, not all of them, but they're living great lives, and they have to learn that to themselves, manifest that. I can't manifest that for them, but at least teaching that to them. So I know you had something.
Yeah, and I would tell you we've all heard this about writing your goals down and everything, and what your why is. And they can be time related, like looking at where you want to be in 5 years, where do you want to be in 1 year. But it is vitally important that you understand the why for this business. Now, your goal for your future and your dreams for your future are out there, but why this business? Why are you spending whatever time it is that you want to put in this, and define it? Because what we have found is if your why isn't big enough, this sometimes is not easy. Sometimes it's very frustrating. And when things don't go the way we think they're going to go, you get frustrated. And one thing that Jordan always says is never quit on a bad day. And a little bit from now, Carol's going to talk a little bit about that. She is somebody that I absolutely admire about persistence and understanding and going and moving along, and now achieving and having some of the successes that she's wanted to have. She's not where she wants to be, but in moving forward. But talk about somebody who's persistent, has never quit, never given up, and goes through is Carol. And she'll talk about that in the future. But what helps that is the why, because whenever I've heard Carol talk about when she's frustrated, she always talks about why she wants to make this work. And that's what helps you get through the stuff. And I don't care if you're an Eagle and send out cards, because Jordan Adler talked about it if you're on the call Monday night. He goes, sometimes I don't want to go do that meeting. He's an Eagle. He's a multi-millionaire, and he goes, I don't want to go do it. He goes, but you just do it because there's things that you want to accomplish. And one thing that we want to share with on part of these goals for 2018 is start thinking about them now, because we're going to get really busy with the Christmas season, and we should be. And then the new year's going to come around. Everybody makes New Year's resolution. But really write some things down with dates for 2018. And then share them, if it's business related, share them with Kim and I, and we'll sit down and help you make a plan, because I think a lot of people reduce their dreams into what only they believe they could do. Okay? So we're just saying, no, write your dreams down of what you want and the why, and we'll help you develop a path of how to get there. And we really do, because one of ours, and I told Kim today, I go, one of them to me is, we want 3 people in 2018 in our organization. We want to help at least 3 people be executives.
So, sorry to interrupt, but that's one of our goals.
That's one of our goals.
Okay, we're kind of talking about goals now.
And why.
So start with your dreams, and then on a smaller scale, some goals. So that's going to help you get to those dreams. So what are your goals? So like Link said, it's to help 3 people get to executive, right? We have been able to do that, and it takes time, but we also know that it can be done. It can be done within a matter of
months,
depending on how hard you're willing to work. So but it has to be your time frame, and you have to let us know what that is. But we are willing to help 3 people, or actually we shouldn't limit it to 3. We're willing to help anybody, but we'd like it to be at least 3. Okay. But you have to write those goals down, whether it's become manager, senior manager, executive, senior executive, whatever those are, or it could be a monetary thing. You want to make $500 a month, or $1,000 a month, or, $30,000 a year, or whatever that may be. So write those down. And then once you have those goals, you have to break it down into planning. What are the action steps to get to that? So one of the things that Link and I always did, and I think we might have mentioned this before on a previous meeting, was we kind of always just started over. So when we made a senior manager, we decided that we're just going to pretend that we're starting all over. We're new distributors, and we're going to pretend that we have to make senior manager again. So we did that over and over again. And it just got to the point where it just built the business. It's built those customers, it built the distributors, and next thing you know, we're executive with the help of a lot of you, so it can be done. It's just those small little action steps that you have to do. So, and they're the things that you hear from the leaders all the time. Like, you have to send the card a day and a gift a week. Even if you don't feel like sending a card, just do it. Just go on Facebook and find those people who could use a card. Somebody passed away, or they're celebrating something. When you put that picture on a card and just write that heartfelt message, and it could just be, I'll tell you what, a lot of times I just drag that picture on there, and on the inside, the only thing I write sometimes is, I saw this picture and I really think it deserves to be on a card. I hope you have an awesome week. Sometimes that's all I write. I sign my name. It doesn't have to be this elaborate thing. and I send it. And I don't know how many times people say that. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have that picture now that I can keep, you know. So, and it just makes you feel good when you do that. It's going to drag you out of like whatever, if you're not feeling, you know, good that day or whatever, it just makes you feel so much better when you do that. So
the reality is, and I'm just going to use us as an example, not that we did anything great, but I just want to make the point of building those relationships. In November, and many of you know that October there was a promotion that the company was doing, and we were fortunate enough to reach that. And then November, they had a promotion, and it's still going on through December, and we really wanted to do that. And what we went back to was all those people that we've already talked to. We just went back to that same list of people that we've been building relationships with for the last 3 to 6 months, and finally called them. And it was amazing. I don't want to say it was easy, but how open they were to go, oh yeah, I'm ready to get started now. And the number of marketing bundles and personal bundles that we sold in November was incredible. We would have easily qualified for senior manager and then some with just that volume of people that we've already talked to. I'm not talking about meeting new people. These are people that we've consistently reached out, built a relationship with, both in the business and personal world, and they go, yep, I'm ready. Yep, I'm ready. So you never know. So it's that consistency of doing it, but it doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's what Kim was talking about. You just got to keep doing it, plant the seeds. And sometimes it happens fast for people, and we go, oh, wow, lucky them. And then sometimes it doesn't happen so fast, and you're wondering what you're doing wrong. Just keep planting the seeds.
Right. So, okay, so I kind of lost my train of thought there. So going back to the actions. Okay, so what Leek was speaking about was all that building relationships. So the actions, so sending the cards and the gifts, meeting people and networking with those people, and that's either locally in your area, meeting people, going to networking meetings, or social media. You can meet people that way. You can, connect with them on Facebook. I mean, I've been doing quite a lot of connecting with people and just sending, if I friend somebody that looks interesting, like even if I want to know them on a personal level, I'll friend them. If they accept, I don't just let it end there. I actually reach out to them by message and say, hey, I appreciate you accepting my friend request. This is why I friended you. Can we go out and have a coffee sometime? And then the opposite is true too. If somebody friends you, don't just accept and be done with it. Accept it. Send them a message. Say, hey, thanks for reaching out. I'm curious. And I got this from somebody else and send out cards, but I always say, I'm curious, what prompted you to reach out and friend me?
Right.
Because I am really curious, like why they thought they should be friends. Is it because we have a lot of friends? Do we have a lot of mutual connections? Was there something I posted you liked? And it just starts that conversation with that person and building that relationship. And then same thing, if they're local, you can say, hey, let's meet for coffee. But I've also said, if they're not local, I said, hey, let's chat online and learn a little bit about each other. So that is really important, doing that networking and learning about new people.
I think that this sign here, a goal without a plan is just a dream. Well, we want you to dream, set some goals, and then let us help you with a plan. Okay. We are here to help. But one thing that we have also learned is it is your business and your personal responsibility for your business. And I think the biggest change for Kim and I, and we tell this story often, was a little over a year ago. We went on a short vacation and we sat down and said, why are we really doing this? Why are we doing this? We're extremely blessed. Why are we doing this? And when we determined what we were going to do and what our goals were, and one of the biggest one is, let's take this out of something we do and now let's call it a business. This is a business. And that really, really makes a difference. Now, we're fortunate we might have a little bit more time than some people, but I'm just saying whatever time that you have is when you're doing this, when you treat it like a business, you'll have the posture to talk to people like a business. And I think what happens in a lot of direct sales companies is they're perceived as that little thing I do on the side. And you don't get the response from people. We have a product now that you can speak to business owners, companies, corporations at the very highest level. We have a product that solves their problems. But if you go in being perceived as, this is my little thing that I do at home, that isn't going to cut it. You got to go in there. No, this is a problem solving tool, and I'm going to show you how you need to use this. And I'm telling you, that attitude is what really has helped, I think, Kim and I, especially in the networking world. It really makes a difference. So now, listen to that. You know? So that's a technique, and that's, well, not just a technique. That's a mindset that you've got to accept in your heart and in your mind, and when you're spending your time, that's what you're doing. So that's part of the plan, is to put in your head, I have a business that I'm going to run, and these are the hours that I'm going to run my business. And if anybody needs help with time management, we strongly recommend, and we will get you the link to listen to Melissa Barlock, who is a phenomenal time scheduling. She teaches this, who is phenomenal, obviously, in send out cards. So she can really help with that time blocking and understanding how to spend time and what's useful time to be spent. So I just want to put a plug out there. There's plenty of resources to overcome any of the issues that anybody has. But the biggest thing is you got to have a goal and just saying, I'm going to go get it. That's, you know, there's no excuse. I'm just going to go get it.
You have to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a quote that, I'm going to mess this up. It's everything that you desire and want is out of your comfort zone. It's something along that line. So that's the biggest thing. I hear all the time that, you know, I don't know what to say to people, or, you know, how do I go in and talk to a business? So, and that was an interesting, if anybody listened to Jordan's call last night, which honestly, I hope everybody who's serious about making money and building this business listening to Jordan's call. If not, on Monday nights, his replay, the next just sometime in the next day. So Jordan's call last night, one of his guests, I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, but she just made senior executive recently. And one of the things that she did was walk into businesses, purely cold calls, walked into businesses. She met with the gatekeeper, the person, not necessarily the person she wanted to talk to about send out cards, but she would ask her or him, hey, who do I need to speak to about the marketing? I have this really great tool that's going to solve a lot of problems and increase your sales and referrals. And that's really how she made it to senior executive. She just was walking in the doors of businesses and saying this and meeting with the gatekeepers and sending the gatekeepers the brownies and a card and say thank you. And then that is getting them into the right person to talk to. So, you know, it can be done. And the point is you have to get out of your comfort zone. Some people aren't comfortable doing that. Well, if you are looking to make a lot of money in the future and leave a full-time job, if that's what you're doing right now, then guess what? You have to step out of your comfort zone and do some of those things. When I first started in this business, I would walk into networking meetings in Atlanta and not know a single person and completely out of my element. And I knew it was the only way I was going to be able to introduce this to business people. So that's what I did. So it can be done, and you can do it. So don't get out of your comfort zone.
Okay, so with a lot of those things, not to go on, is we want to introduce Carol. Most of you know Carol Crane. She and I went to high school together, been friends for a long time. I introduced this to Carol years ago. I don't even know when it was, Carol, but I know that when you saw it, it spoke to you on a personal level of just the good energy, because I know you speak on energy all the time, and we believe that too. It's, you know, the positivity and everything. And just would like to get some of your words. I mean, Carol's new senior manager, a goal she's been working on for a while, achieved that. I know that's not where you want to stop. And if you could just talk about a couple of the things that have helped you, one, achieve your goal, and some of the things that you learned that didn't help you as much, and how you move forward, because we all learn, right? And we don't do it all right. So yeah. I turn it over to Carol.
Well, gosh, how much time do you have for what doesn't work? But one of the things you guys said about goal setting, and I have to say, I'm not the best at writing it down, but I would say in this last year, and it was convention, believe it or not, when Steve got up and talked, I've been to almost every convention except one, but last year was different. And the theme of it was defining moments, and he had a bracelet that said, because I said I would, and it goes with the theme of what he talked about, but I wore that bracelet every day. And maybe I didn't write down the goal, but I can tell you, taking a picture or taking the video of you and Kim walking across that stage, I had that picture in my head. And I know I haven't even shared this with you and Kim. I practice yoga, and I would, in every single class, and then I do it, and also sometimes a guided meditation, but there's a place for you to put an intention in there. And I would always have that picture of me walking across the stage, of you guys walking across the stage, and my intention was, I am a senior manager walking across the stage at the Sendao Cards Convention, and 100%, a minimum of 5 times a week. But that without action also doesn't do anything. And this last year, I do work a full-time job, and I always have since it's actually one of the reasons I got into it, because there were a bunch of layoffs, and I could go into that. But I was kind of doing it kind of passively on the side, and okay, if I had a day off or a late day or day where I went in later, I would do things. But I mentally took out my calendar on like Mondays and said, okay, I need to call these 3 people. What day am I going to do it? And so I just started taking chances. I started taking my laptop with me every day and trying to plan like a Zoom meeting, or, you know, during my lunch hour. I work in a college, so I would just kind of sneak up into a vacant classroom. But it just really, I'm just, pardon it if I offend it, but just hell bent on leaving corporate world, and you just have to take those chances when you can. And so yes, I've been into it for about 6 years now. The referrals are starting to happen. And one of the things that helped this last, literally in October, and I was very lucky to be able to take advantage of that. I was close enough that I just needed a couple of distributors. And, you know, I did reach out to family members and go, hey, you know what? I need this from you. I need help. You know, so I was able to get to that level. But then the volume, miraculously, that's when all of these things just started dropping in my lap. I started getting a personal bundle, and then a marketing bundle, and then a referral here and a referral there. And the timing was just definitely, I don't think it was a coincidence. I think it was just focusing and following up. And I treated those referrals as if they were family members. And I have one customer that has probably sent me at least 10 customer referrals. And literally as of yesterday, I need to follow up on it, but a lady called me and these are referrals now down South Florida, and they're entitled. But a lady called me and she said, I've been a Send Out Cards customer, but I don't even know who my rep is. But I saw the way you treated Nikki and Alicia, and I want to be with you. So I've called Send Out Cards, and it can happen. She wants to upgrade. Has not heard from her rep in 10 years. She's been a customer for 10 years and has never heard from her rep. So to get referrals from referrals, that's the magic of it. And, you know, I think Lincoln said something, you know, about posture. I noticed myself in language. I would say, oh, I'm a, you know, when I meet people at networking, oh, I work at a college, and oh, by the way, I do this on the side. No, now I'm a Send Out Cards representative. I don't even pass out my other business. I don't even carry those business cards with me. So I reversed it. And even though this is my part-time income, it's full-time in my mind.
Right. Right.
So, and you just have to take I try to set up where I call at least 3 people on my lunch hour a day. It doesn't always happen. There are days I don't even get lunch, but it's written down to follow up. And yes, some people, I've been working with some people for 3 or 4 months, and it's still in fruition. You just can't give up. And I think belief in the product, number one, will get you through those hard days.
Right.
Carol, can you talk a little bit about events? Because one thing that I do know is when we got started, you went to one of the first events that we had down in Tampa, I believe. We went over to an event, I think, with Kathleen, and it was, you know, I think that energy that you get from events. So if you could speak a little bit about events, of how that helps you get through and what events mean, I think that'd be powerful for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And I think that does come from like my yoga background, my dance background. You've got to go to what's called the source. And it's kind of like a shot in the arm. But I remember signing up on April 26th, and I actually was at a Treat 'em Right in Charlotte in June. And then I think the event we're talking about was in the summertime. And then I did the first convention as well too. So I went to 2 events before I went to a convention that was like in August, I think, that year. But yes, because you're in the room with like-minded people. You're in the room with people that have the same struggles that you do, the same challenges you do, but also the same successes. And to see normal, everyday people walk across the stage, and you know, it's just empowering. And I think last year one of the takeaways was Phoebe Trotman, who is now, I believe, a senior executive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It took her 9 years to get to executive. And so I went, wow, okay. So, you know, so not everybody has the overnight success, and there are so many more people like all of us on this call out there than there are the Eagles, obviously, and the senior managers or the senior executives and things like that. But the events, you have to go. If you really want to make this part of your business, you have to go.
Right. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all those great words. And one thing that I have found throughout my time in Send Out Cards and other direct sales, you know, just being around the industry, is it might not be what Kim and I share. It might not be what Carol shares, but it's going to be something that somebody shares that resonates with somebody else, either on our team or out there. And what you get at the events is a cross-section of so many lives, so many situations that somebody's going to resonate with. And that's why we also feel like the Monday night calls and the guests that they have on. And now that Cody's doing every Wednesday a relationship marketing interview, it's going to touch somebody. So, and you don't know when it's going to be. You don't know what information that you're going to get. So we just sort of plug in, and that's the term. Hey, just plug in.
Yep.
Find a person that means something to you, that resonates, and get that information.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
So speaking on that though, because I listen to a lot of the different people who are leaders. Melissa, Callie. Callie has a great great team calls on Monday nights, 6:45 Eastern, and then Melissa has her products and opportunity calls every Tuesday that you can plug into. She does, her and Callie, they do a spectacular job.
Really good.
What
How's that? I'll keep it
do I
simple.
want? Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. They both do a fantastic job of those product opportunity Zooms. And they're 2 different nights. So you can plug people into that and watch them yourself. Because that's how you learn to do it yourself if you need to do a Zoom on your own with somebody. So that is very helpful, and we can't say enough about just plugging into all the different, the leadership call on Monday night. You should be listening to that, to Steve and to Cody and to Jordan's call, and when the replay comes, so plug into all that stuff too. So I just want to reiterate. I had a great plan to have this great PowerPoint going with all these different bullet points, but my darn PowerPoint wasn't working, and I had to log on today with Microsoft, but I made these 3 slides. Anyway, I just want to reiterate, so dreams, dream big, write down your future life. What are you going to be doing 5 years from now? How are you going to be living? What kind of house are you going to have? Are you going to have 2 houses? You're going to be living on the beach, on the golf course, all that stuff. So just write them all down and read them every day if you can, because you can manifest that into your life. Goals, same thing. Write them down. What goals do you need to get to those dreams? And whether that's be a senior manager, whether it's how much money you want to make, whether it's helping other people reach their dreams and goals, whatever that may be. And then those actions that you have to take and those plans to get those goals. So, and then you have to break them down, sending the cards, going to networking meetings, the follow-up. I think I was going to go a little bit more into follow-up, but I think what I'll do is I'll create just a Word file and put it into the group. Cause I just really have some great points on follow-up, the steps you have to take, because it really is 7 to 12 touches with somebody, whether that's, 3 to 4 cards and then emails. And then of course we have our appreciation pal that you can plug into and start using. Now there is a monthly fee for that. And Link and I personally have not really dived into that yet. We were waiting, making sure that we had our executive goal and our VIP goal done. But it's definitely, I've been watching the videos, and we're going to start using that in 2018. So we'll probably do a Zoom on that next year, but it's going to be a great tool to use. And I think they have a lot of plans for that in other ways also. So definitely consider that and think about that, but we'll have more information on that in January. And then plugging in, like we said, you got to get plugged into everything. So we are going to plan on start doing team Zoom calls for our Living the Dream team every 3rd Tuesday of the month. And we're going to have a topic like this where we talk about, what you need to do to help build your business. So what we'd like you to do, if you're interested in truly building this business, we want to help 3 people, like we said, reach that executive level, 3 or more, doesn't matter.
20 is fine.
Yeah,
we're good with that too.
So whoever is willing and wants to do that, please reach out to us. We will sit down. We'll do a Zoom with you. Let's figure out a plan for that to help you get there. So we're willing to do that. So thank you so much, Carol. We appreciate you, and so happy you're on our team. And Kathleen, so glad to see you here. You're gonna get there. We know you are. And Sean, awesome that you joined us. Thanks for joining us.
Please share this if you think would be helpful for anybody on the team. We're going to post it on the website so it can be reviewed. And that's what we'll do is every month we'll do a team Zoom. Not everybody can make it, and we got that. But we want to be able to provide information that we feel is going to be helpful. And in January, hopefully we will know and understand a lot of the changes that are going to be announced on January 2nd. And hopefully if we're educated enough, that's what the Zoom meeting is going to be about, is going, all right, guess what? Your plan just changed just a little bit. Let's do this, you know. But from everything that we've heard going forward, it should be getting easier. It should be even getting easier. And just, you know, Kim and I, you know, we love this business, and we really want to help other people experience some of the things that we've been able to do because of this business. So we'll see you in January.
Yeah, one other thing too is this is our Living the Dream Team call, but we're also going to be helping Sean and all the leaders in the Atlanta area with the Atlanta Send Our Cards team. And that's going to be one Monday a month at 8:30. And I think we're still trying to figure out what week that's going to be. So that is a great thing to plug into. Even if you're not from Atlanta, it's still going to be the same type of thing. We're going to be doing a lot of training and things like that. So keep that in mind too. So that's it.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas, a great New Year, and all those. And we'll be talking to you very shortly. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Everybody.